We can make your vision a reality. The Eastern Pavilion Banqueting Hall, located on Featherstall Road South, Oldham. A perfect choice for your perfect day.
Okay, thank you. 2525, where are you 25?
রাখো তোমার 25 আমি এখন জেনারেল অটো সার্ভিসও
What are you doing there?
আই এম মেকিং মানি ম্যান
Money? What money?
আমি অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট করছি ক্লেম দিলেই 100 পাউন্ড
Really? £500?
মিনিক্যাব ড্রাইভারদের জন্য তাক লাগানো অফার প্রতিটি হায়ার গাড়ির সাথে £500 ক্যাশব্যাক জেনারেল অটো সার্ভিস 250 রমফোর্ড রোড লন্ডন E7 9H জেট
1990 সাল থেকে প্রাইম এক্সপ্রেস অগণিত হজ ও ওমরা যাত্রীদের দিয়ে আসছে সর্বোচ্চ মানের সেবা। প্রাইম এক্সপ্রেস নর্থ অফ ইংল্যান্ডের একমাত্র বাঙালি সৌদি মিনিস্ট্রির উমরা অ্যাপ্রুভ ট্রাভেল এজেন্ট। আপনার যে কোনো এয়ারলাইন্সের টিকিটের জন্য প্রাইম এক্সপ্রেসে যোগাযোগ করুন। প্রাইম এক্সপ্রেস বিমান সহ সৌদি, টার্কিশ ও রয়্যাল জর্ডানিয়ান এয়ারলাইন্সের অ্যাপ্রুভ টিকিট এজেন্ট। আয়েটা ও এটুল প্রটেক্টেড। প্রাইম এক্সপ্রেস আপনার বিশ্বস্ত ট্রাভেল এজেন্ট। চেটারটন ওয়ে, ওল্ডহাম।
It is Media Empire and Prabash Bangla in conjunction with UK24TV and News71. I've got two co-hosts with me this evening. I'm going to be introducing some of the candidates a bit later on as the counts come in. But for now, let's have a look at what's been happening over the last few weeks. As you know, that there are 102 candidates in total with 20 wards. A third of them are going for re-election or first-time election, which means that a substantial amount of people are involved in the last few weeks in terms of the 2019 local elections. What that means is that there's been lots of hustle and bustle across Oldham, bringing communities from across the board to take part in the local elections of 2019. Over the last few weeks, through Prabash Bangla and UK24TV and News71, we have been covering what has been going on. And in the studios, we've had candidates coming in. So let me, before I say anything else, introduce the two people that are here with me who are busy looking at their phones because they're sharing, because we're going live. So stop doing that. So first of all, I've got Sadiq Bhai. Assalamu alaikum and good evening.
Good evening. How are you? Okay.
I'm fine, thank you. How's it been the last few weeks when you've been doing the coverage?
Yeah. Actually, it was very interesting this year because every year is different new candidate, lots of new candidates, and lots of new people coming in politics, especially from the minority community. That make a difference, and I hope this election will see some difference. People.
Inshallah, yes, they're bringing a difference, bringing a different mix into it. Next, I've got my co-colleague from UK24TV, Chaudhry Imran Saab. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Great to see you. You have not been doing any hosting yet so far, so hopefully you'll actually start tonight.
That is why I'm laughing, and I'm pretty excited. The first time out on the screen.
Not first time on screen, but first time on UK24 TV. For those of you who know that we've been running many different campaigns, so me and Chaudhry Imran, we work as a team. Assalamu alaikum to Adil out there. He's in Dubai at the moment, our third partner in the organisation. So for the last few weeks, you've actually been not hosting, but you've been behind the camera, making sure things are going smoothly. How's it been in terms of watching the new candidates?
Was brilliant, fantastic. All the programs we did with regards to elections campaign, and the people have seen that you can say campaign of elections, and they've appreciated it, and to be honest, they're looking forward for the more programs and more news programs, political programs, or basically a web-based TV channel.
So, as you know, we are here in Queen Elizabeth Hall in Oldham, and we are covering the count live. Now, it's quite historical in the sense that normally you have radio, you have newspapers, you have members from the media companies who come along and do the coverage. But the fact that we are three different channels working together in conjunction under Media Empire. Media Empire was set up predominantly to look at the minority ethnic communities, but from a British perspective, and ensure that people partake in what is happening around them, not just within Oldham, but across different boroughs. And in fact, we've had people from Manchester, we've had people from Bury, we've had people from Rochdale, we've had people as far as Blackburn. I was over in Blackburn looking at what was happening there. So lots of opportunities to try and find out and bring communities together. Of course, this is a political coverage, not just a community coverage, but in particular, we want to see new candidates, new people come in and bring their own heritage and bring people from different backgrounds together under the banner of politics. So, as I said earlier, there are a total of 102 candidates who are standing across the borough, 20 different wards. A third of the council is up for re-election, which means a substantial amount of people, their votes are being counted right behind us, actually. So I don't know if you can actually zoom in. Jay's behind the camera. Assalamu alaikum, Jay. Doing a fantastic job as always. We'll try and bring him on in front of the camera if we can a little bit later on. So the count has started. We've seen lots of candidates out there. I'm sure the majority of them, no matter how experienced they are, no matter what positions they've had, they will be butterflies going through their stomach because until the final count is done and everything is checked and there's a formal announcement, we will not really know how well they've done and in terms of what the margins are. In some of the wards, we found that the margin is going to be very tight, Sadiq Bhai. So I know that this is something that's come up it's quite interesting, isn't it? Because we've got new candidates, other candidates which are going for re-election, experienced politicians, but the fact that they are bringing youth into it and also female candidates has brought something very interesting to the mix.
Yeah, especially I'm talking about Coldest. Just take a Coldest. We got new candidates, from the Labour Party, and
one of them is a new candidate, a Bengali female, Ruji. I interviewed her, absolutely fantastic candidate, up against somebody very experienced as well.
Yeah, he was a councillor twice, and he's running as an independent now this year, and.
So what's all that about, Sadiq Bhai? I mean, the fact that seems to be a growing number of independent candidates. Is it because they're a bit annoyed that they didn't actually get the opportunity to represent their party?
In Medlock Vale, I've seen the independent coming up strongly, but I don't know how far they're going to go. In Wernethworth, there's independent growing up against the mayor, current mayor, I think. So in Coldest, and I think lots of other words as well. New candidates come out, and people thinking they're revolting. Some areas they're thinking, but one thing I'm thanking Media Empire firstly, because this is the first time we are broadcasting live from here. You know, that's the new things for us, and inshallah we'll carry on every year, and we need everyone's support on these. And instead of your question, I think people, lots of people I'm talking to, last 2-3 months, we've been talking to people, lots of people, they say, we want some changing, changing candidates. Sometimes same candidates, too many times, they think, no, we need some change. But sometimes, they want to bring new face. Even though the present candidate doing good, people still want new candidate to come. Another thing, I think, these things recently, the women empowerment of the power thing, so bringing the women candidates, that's another thing, new things. And because I think in some wards in London you got 2 male and 1 female candidates, so that's balancing the gender gap things, that's maybe another things happening here as well.
Yeah, I think that's quite interesting, isn't it? That people want change. It doesn't necessarily mean that things are going wrong, but they want to see something different. They want to see maybe some vibrancy into it. Maybe they want to see youth partaking. Maybe they want to see 2nd, 3rd, 4th generation of minority people actually coming in and bringing something different to the media empire, but also females. So from your perspective, from what you've seen of the candidates, and I know today you've been out and about Oldham meeting candidates, going to the polling stations. What's the feeling out there?
Well, to be honest, this is, I think, these elections this year, they're very crucial and important, because these elections are going to tell whole of UK what people are thinking. Especially, we all know this Brexit thing. Now, the Brexit has a direct impact on these elections, and the turnout of the voting is going to tell, or it's going to convey a message to all the legislators that what people are thinking about this Brexit issue. And,
so do you think that Brexit has had an influence on the local elections? We've got the European elections obviously coming up on the 23rd, but in terms of local elections, Brexit is influencing this?
Of course it is influencing this, because people voted, whether they voted to remain or they voted to leave. People voted for something, and it is still hanging about. It's not. There is nothing there. And the chances are it's going to go on like this. We don't know of how many months or in how many years. The people, especially the business people, they are worried about it. The people who are doing international business, they're more worried about it. Now, this turn of people, we have voted and we have not got any result yet, so why we are going to go out and vote again? But what we have done is that through our this media talks and obviously through our campaigns, we have encouraged people to vote. We have encouraged people to tell legislators or people who are at decision making positions that we voted for something. You've got to decide it, and let's see what is the turnout tonight.
So let's see. Yes, indeed. Let's see. We are on Facebook Live, so you can go onto Facebook Live with Prabhash Bangla. And for those of you that have got a smart TV, you can go onto YouTube link for UK24TV and, of course, News71 as well. So whichever platform you're looking at, you will see the 3 of us. And unfortunately, there won't be any change. So hopefully you'll enjoy the evening. Now, we are going to be speaking to some of the actual candidates live a little bit later on. But just as Judge Imran and Sadiq Bhai has said, that there seems to be something very different about these elections. One is that there seems to be a wave of new candidates who are coming into the big mix, bringing the British young minority ethnic diaspora into it and their own experiences, but also women empowerment. We've seen a rise of female candidates. It will be quite interesting to see what the UK picture looks like, but in particular within Oldham, because we're here at Queen Elizabeth Hall, we have seen a rise of female candidates, and women actually for the first time, not because of women's seats, but because they have been selected by their party to be the most appropriate representative for their particular party. So that's been quite interesting. It's been quite interesting from a canvassing point of view, from a language point of view as well. Over the last few weeks, we've looked at the ethnicity, we've looked at the demographics, we've looked at some of the reasoning why people are voting. And tonight we're going to find out because the votes are in. We're actually... been announcement. We've just been told that they moved from stage 1 to stage 2. I don't quite know. So basically, so that means that there are things are moving on. We're moving through the night. So hopefully shortly, we will be starting to hear some of the actual counts. I don't expect it to be too long. I don't think it will go on for too many hours. We will be taking a break soon, and then we'll be coming live. So for now, what we're going to be doing is saying that for those of you that have got any comments, if you have got any comments, you can go onto the Facebook Live. You can inbox us. Please do leave your comments, leave any thoughts and any predictions. If you've got any predictions out there, let's see how many of you have got a magic ball and you can predict correctly. So if you are from a particular ward and you think you've got the magic number, you know that which candidate is going to win, and also if you know in terms of what the actual count will be, that will be quite interesting because you do a bit of predictions as well. I'm sure you, Sadiq Bhai, do a bit of predictions. So we'll see you soon, straight after the break, inshallah, where we will introduce some of the actual candidates and the people around. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, thank you. 2525, where are you 25?
রাখো তোমার 25 আমি এখন জেনারেল অটো সার্ভিসও
What are you doing there?
আই এম মেকিং মানি ম্যান
Money? What money?
আমি অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট করছি ক্লেম দিলেই 100 পাউন্ড
Really? 500 pounds?
মিনিক্যাব ড্রাইভারদের জন্য তাক লাগানো অফার, প্রতিটি হায়ার গাড়ির সাথে 500 পাউন্ড ক্যাশব্যাক। জেনারেল অটো সার্ভিস, 250 রমফোর্ড রোড, লন্ডন E7 9H Jet।
1990 সাল থেকে প্রাইম এক্সপ্রেস অগণিত হজ ও ওমরা যাত্রীদের দিয়ে আসছে সর্বোচ্চ মানের সেবা। প্রাইম এক্সপ্রেস নর্থ অফ ইংল্যান্ডের একমাত্র বাঙালি সৌদি মিনিস্ট্রির উমরা অ্যাপ্রুভ ট্রাভেল এজেন্ট। আপনার যে কোনো এয়ারলাইন্সের টিকিটের জন্য প্রাইম এক্সপ্রেসে যোগাযোগ করুন। প্রাইম এক্সপ্রেস বিমান সহ সৌদি, টার্কিশ ও রয়্যাল জর্ডানিয়ান এয়ারলাইন্সের অ্যাপ্রুভ টিকিট এজেন্ট। আয়েটা ও এটুল প্রটেক্টেড। প্রাইম এক্সপ্রেস আপনার বিশ্বস্ত ট্রাভেল এজেন্ট। চেডারটন ওয়ে, ওল্ডহাম।
The Eastern Pavilion Banqueting Hall, comprising 2 beautifully decorated modern guest suites with seating capacity for up to 1,100 guests. An ideal choice for engagements, weddings, Mendi parties, exhibitions and seminars. Supported by the latest sound and video technology, air-conditioned and free Wi-Fi. Contact us today and see how we can make your vision a reality. The Eastern Pavilion Banqueting Hall, located on Featherstall Road South, Oldham. A perfect choice for your perfect day.
Assalamualaikum, welcome back. I am your host for this evening, Shnaz Sadiq, and we are here with Media Empire, Prabash Bangla TV, working in conjunction with UK24TV and News71. So I've got here a young gentleman who most of you will know because often he is seen having coffee with Khan. So how are you, Mujad Bhai?
I'm okay, thank you, and thanks for having us on.
Great to see you. I don't often get to have a coffee with you, so hopefully a bit later on we will have a coffee together.
We'll invite you on my show then. You can have a coffee.
So how's it been going for you? I know that you've been covering a number of programs, and tonight we're here at the Count. What's it feeling like?
Well, it seems to be very civilized and sensible. Everyone seems to be very focused on the votes that are coming out of the boxes. They're very glued to the boxes, very focused, and with anticipation, I guess. Everyone obviously enters into a race to win, and of course there's going to be one winner in each of the wards. But everyone's really keen to see what the outcome of each of the wards is, and there's 20 wards. If the viewers didn't know, there's 20 wards for election, and there'll be 20 people elected.
So 20 wards, 102 total in terms of candidates, 20 new in terms of wards. There'll obviously be a winner for each of the ward. So it's quite interesting. Assalamu alaikum, Ahmed Bhai, how are you?
I'm fine. Wa alaikum salam. How are you?
Ahmed Bhai, of course, is our CEO for Prabhash Bangla. Many of you often don't get to see him. I do see him on a daily basis. It's great to have you here. It is actually an honour to have you here on the set. So what's it been feeling like over the last few weeks?
Last few weeks we are very busy, and I'm from Coal Dust, and there is really that people are busy to campaigning, and thus different parties, like all people are, because I'm background from Bangladesh community, and we are Bangladeshis love to celebrate this kind of event like elections, Eid, and any kind of occasion, and election is one of our occasion actually, and today is very busy. We visit a few polling station, and we did few live from Prabhash Bangla TV.
So like you said, I mean, in politics is part of our culture, isn't it? I mean, part of the Pakistani culture, part of the Bengali culture. So in every household we talk about politics. You mentioned Coldhurst, and there's actually been a number of new candidates, and some of them going for reselection. So the reselection independent candidates, and the new candidates are coming from the actual major parties, aren't they? That's quite interesting.
Yeah, when we visit is few polling station, so we seen actually people are talking. They got their own supporters with badge on. They're saying like we're gonna win, and we take few people's interview. They're saying they are definitely gonna win. So we just tell them yes. Let's see when it's 12 o'clock. Might be we're gonna announce it, or might be council going to announce that real who is going to be win. So we are here. That's why we are here to show whoever watching us. Then you can see very shortly that real result.
When looking at these kinds of programs, communities often wonder how many people are involved in the team. People don't quite know that there are so many volunteers who are working in the polling stations in terms of making sure that they are, that it's running smoothly. Like you said, it's very civil. You can see people are concentrating. So how many people do you think down there are actually doing the counting? I mean, there seems to be a lot of people out there, down there, making sure things are running smoothly, aren't there?
Actually, I think there's about 120 people counting. And then obviously supervising, and then the supervisors above supervisors. So there's a whole layer and structure of how this thing runs very efficiently in a democratic, process. And it's also everyone can see the count. So there's no way of people complaining about the votes that may not have been coming through or been hidden, or things that you hear from elsewhere.
I mean, that's quite interesting because, like you said, we're on the balcony and we can actually see what's going on. And there are lots of spectators about, isn't there? There are people in the balcony who are observing. So the observers can see that it's very transparent.
Yeah, it is. And, of course, one of my observations when I come here every year is that the lack of engagement of young people, the youths of our communities, it seems like that there's only a certain age group of people who are super keen on the local politics, and the vast majority of our community, particularly in the inner areas, over 50% are young people. It seems like the young people are, distant from proper engagement, and I think that's something that needs to change in the future for going forward. Otherwise, if it becomes stale, people become apathetic. and people refrain from, voting.
I mean, that's quite interesting, isn't it, Ahmed Bhai? I know that you do a lot of work within the communities. There are lots of live streaming going on for Prabash Bangla. I mean, we're more, UK24 is more studio-based. But just as Mujahid Bhai has said, in engaging young people, how do you, as part of Media Empire, how do you feel in terms of moving forward that we're going to be able to engage more young people in this kind of process?
We are working actually very grass levelly. Like we do a lot of event like young generation. We invite young generation as well as women's, men's within the community. We do a lot of events like we invite them to come and view as well as and PBTV based in Media Empire. We invite so many young generation to come and work with us. We help them as well as we got few projects which we're going to start very soon. And at this moment, you can say over 2 years, PBTVs running from Oldham base, but we cover all over Northwest. People are getting benefit from us, and when people appreciate, then we feel happy. Yes, because people are getting benefit from PBTV. At least we can do something. And where we get, you can hear that, and you can see that today's PBTV is in councils, Queen Elizabeth Hall for election counting. First time we're doing properly as a studio base. So this is one thing for our community, and our young generation can learn from this. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're a young person and you've not quite understand how it all works, then do contact us. I mean, Media Empire is all about embracing communities, supporting communities. And if you are a member of any of those communities that we are working with across the Northwest and beyond, then please do contact us. You can contact us through our usual information. You can write directly to us or inbox us onto the Facebook or send a message to us. So Prabash Bangla in conjunction with UK24TV and News71, any one of the media platforms, and please do. We're more than happy to listen to your views, more than happy to take people on board and find out how you can be engaged more. Now, usually it's a few hours, isn't it, this whole process? The box, Mujahid Bhai is laughing because he's thinking, oh yes, it's going to be a long night. Do you think it's going to be a very long night?
Not because of that, a long night, because I've been coming here like since probably more than 25 years.
So you were actually one of those young people that came in. Yeah, still young, but you still...
Yeah, so when I got involved in this sort of political games, it was, oh goodness me, in the mid-90s. So there was a handful of us, half a dozen of us at that time who were supposedly young. We got involved, obviously, to make a change in the community. Things were very different then, very, very, very different to what they are now. However, I do feel that the young people don't get involved, so that's one way of looking at it. I also do feel that the existing parties don't engage the young people. I don't think they know how to engage the young people, and I think that's something that needs to change very quickly, because as you can see, our community is fragmented and divided upon different colors, different badges, and that's at a certain level.
We've seen with the new candidates, we have seen younger candidates, we've seen more females. There seems to be a real mix. The fact that a lot of them now can actually speak English. I mean, if I'm allowed to say that, they will better communicate with their communities across the board, because that is the language of the country. Many of the wards have a high percentage of white background and a small percentage of minorities, but yet minorities are representing them. So the fact that language, ethnicity, faith, all those factors come into place, do you think it's a better place to do politics? I mean, Oldham generally?
I think it's definitely improved. It's definitely a better place, but it could be a whole lot better. So, of course, in certain wards, obviously we don't want to name any names, but in certain wards, certain statistics haven't changed for years. So it begs the question, what are the representatives, or how much are the representatives, how much can they influence in terms of policy to bring about dramatic changes? If things haven't changed for a decade, 2 decades, then of course there's something relating to the policy of those issues is not working. But I guess it's not just their role. I think community, civil society, community organizations and also key individuals need to be brought together.
I mean, it's very multidisciplinary, isn't it? Lots of institutions to be involved. It's not quite simple.
Yeah, I was going to say it would be unfair to pin something on an individual who has been elected as a in a leadership or a representative position. I do believe that it's a responsibility for a whole series of different multidisciplinary, multi-organizational approach that needs to happen. But my concern is facts don't change, and that's really worrying. Employment figures don't change, crime figures don't hardly change, employment figures don't change. I mean, that's seriously something wrong.
That's quite interesting. I'm going to bring you back in, before we take another break. Media Empire has brought lots of different media platforms together. The fact that Prakash Bangla is sitting here, UK24TV is sitting here, we've had News71 sitting here, is bringing different... How much of an influence is media now having upon this kind of setup and politics in general? How much influence?
Actually, it's a very difficult question. Same time, I can say, as a media person, as a media empire, we running as a company. We working as my background since nearly 20 years from media, because I'm from London. As everybody who ever knows, that's Surma newspaper group, my family business. So I start from that media group. Then when I moved in Northwest, I established first Bengali newspaper in Northwest. So when I involved, then slowly I engage people, community people. They try to understand that what is media is. And today you can see that we are leading media group in Northwest. We create so many newspaper, few online media, online TV, as well as online newspaper, English, Asians, Bangladeshi. So we feel great, and when we work with community, really happy. We feel really happy because we're trying to do something for community, and community is also supporting us. Thanks to community, because they are supporting our media empire.
Absolutely. So we're hearing how different wards are moving to different stages, so it's quite interesting. We are going to go to a break. So as you've just heard from what Ahmed Bhaiya said, if it wasn't for the communities and you people out there, you are the viewers. And viewers not can only have their say, but they can change the way that